Hey guys, so it's been a hot minute again. I don't know if you hear anything that's going on. I got somebody singing in the bathroom and I got kids playing outside. I decided to make this video just because I guess being the mom to my 2-year-old has been frustrating lately, to say the least. Mainly because, for those who don't know, she got diagnosed with a sensory processing disorder almost a year ago now. Has it been that long? Yeah. So she's been doing basically like desensitization therapy every week, and then it switched to every other week, and she's graduating out of it next week. So I decided I would kind of make a video more or less like what I, as a mother of a child with a sensory processing disorder, would want you to know, so you're not doing the wrong things, I guess. So firstly, and apparently this is a big misconception for my sister, she is lovely. You can't catch anything from my daughter. My daughter has something that's strictly genetic. Sensory processing disorders are genetic. They're not a disease. They're not something you can catch if you touch her, if you hug her, if she breathes on you. So don't act like it, because really you're just being a D-bag. I mean, would you keep your distance away from someone who has cancer for fear of catching it? No. So don't treat my daughter any different. Secondly, she is gonna have meltdowns in public, and they're probably worse than your kids. And don't stare at her while she's having them. Don't gawk. Don't fixate on her, because if you do, it's just gonna make it worse, because she's gonna get more overwhelmed by people staring. Thirdly, she knows when you're acting different to her. She knows. She feels when people don't really want to be interacting with her. And I know when people don't really want to be interacting with her. And I'll tell you, that breaks my heart. So bad. Fourthly, she's probably gonna chew on some things that kids aren't meant to chew on. For example, shoes, and books, and her toys, and her shirts. Shirts are more normal though. And that's just something she does to stimulate herself, because for those who don't know, again, there are two main types of sensory processing disorder, and there's the one that's more well known where it's hypersensitive. That's where you see the kids that don't really like to be touched, don't like that physical touch, don't like the tags, don't like things like that. And then there's hyposensitive. Amethyst is mainly hyposensitive. We found this out when she would bite on her hands and leave bruises, and she would just be unfazed by it. And when we would go to try to discipline her, and we would slap her hands or spank her butt, and she would just laugh about it. Like, I knew something wasn't right there. So yes, she's gonna chew on things. It's just something that helps her stimulate herself, because she doesn't receive the same input from things that you and I do. Fifth. She doesn't always interact with other kids the way a normal kid would. It will sometimes take her a minute to get warmed up to a kid, or she might not even want to play at all. When she first started daycare this year, she would just sit and buckle and unbuckle and buckle and unbuckle the chairs that they had there, and she didn't want anything to do with the other kids. She didn't want to play with them. That wasn't what she wanted to do. She just sat there and buckled and unbuckled. Sixthly, because of this, my kid is lacking in a little bit of empathy, which most adults are also lacking, So if she bites you, pulls your hair, makes your kid cry, makes you or your kid say ouch, and she doesn't react the way you think she should, then that's why. I have to coax her a little bit, like, oh my gosh, Amethyst, you just bit her. You know, ow, that hurt her. That gave her owies, that hurts her. Please don't do that. Look at her and tell her sorry. Because it doesn't click in her mind. Like, I could be sitting and crying, and she'd just look at me like, what's wrong with you? And I guess 7th, is it 7th? I think 7th. At the end of the day, there's nothing that I could do to prevent this. There's nothing I did to cause this. This is just who she was supposed to be. This is who she is. Don't sit here and tell me she needs to be spanked more. Don't sit here and tell me she needs to be disciplined more, because she's good. She's a good kid. 8th, when I tell you she has a sensory processing disorder, please, please stop responding with, I will pray for you. I'm so sorry. That's terrible. Because this is my daughter we're talking about. I love her just the way she is. She's my kid. I don't want her to be any different. She is who she is. It's not a terrible thing. It's just her. I don't need you to pray for me because it's not a tragedy. Pray for the kids who are in the hospitals fighting for their lives. Pray for the kids who have cancer. Pray for the kids who desperately need lung transplants. Pray for those kids. But my kid is just fine. I know you say it because you mean well, and I get that. I do. I understand. But think about how that sounds to me. Like, I can't even compare it to anything. Like, if you told me your kid had ADHD, since that seems to be a common one, or anxiety. Not anxiety, ADHD. And I said, oh my God, that's so horrible. I am so sorry. I will pray for you. Like, it's not that serious, you guys. That's who your kid is, and that's just how things are. So this is pretty brief, but I just had to get that piece out there because it was really gnawing at me. So this is coming from a mom whose child is very, very mildly on the autism spectrum. These are things I want you to know. So if you have a child with autism, or, you know, you have a family member who has autism, or a family member who has a child that has autism, or like I said, just sensory processing disorder. This is more aimed at sensory. Because these things are normal. The main takeaway is, please, for the love of God, stop telling autism parents and stop telling parents of children with sensory processing disorders that you'll pray for them and that it's horrible. We love our kids just how they are. I don't need your prayers. I'm good. Yeah.